Welcome back to Of Dice and Friends, your weekly serving of magic, mayhem, and misadventure. I'm Joey, your host and dungeon master.
Joey?
Yeah.
Where are Greg and Nolan tonight?
Right. Greg and Nolan won't be joining us tonight. While the future of their characters is a little uncertain, I'm pretty confident that Greg and Nolan will be back at some point. Maybe next week, maybe not.
Is that why we changed venues so they can't find us?
Oops. Nobody told them? Oh.
Oh, man. This is so weird without Nolan and Greg to give their intros. But, all right. Well, Nolan did want me to tell you guys. He's not mad at Joey for killing Mo. He's more upset about the guy that created the number 0. I mean, seriously, thanks for nothing.
Boom, Nolan.
Even from the grave, Mo/Nolan rocks the dad jokes.
I was looking forward to 1 week. Just one episode without his jokes, but...
I am channeling the idiocy of Nolan.
Joey, you don't have any threat over him anymore. You just killed his character.
Right.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
So now it's about to get worse.
It's about to get weird in here.
And then Greg, I'm sure, would say something about his cat.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Something his cat did this last week.
That was cute, but also naughty.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then we're on to me.
Yep.
I'm Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
I play Tana. She's a tiefling. I have no idea how Tana's going to react to these 2 deaths today. Mm-hmm. I mean, this could get really ugly. I have a feeling alcohol will be involved. I am actually drinking alcohol now. So sorry in advance, Joey.
Great.
Do not ask me to math tonight.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Aaron, and I play Finian, the friendly neighborhood druidic elf. And I have a feeling that in Finian's case, there might be some fungus involved this evening.
Some fungus among us.
Some fungus.
We need to get him some Tenactin for that.
Yeah, he needs like an all-body, like full-body Tenactin bath, this guy.
like a bath and athlete's foot cream.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Gross.
That's delicious.
Hey, I'm Sarek. I play Heen, the Gith Scion. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting episode. Mm-hmm. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't have an intro. Let's do this.
All right. Shortest intro we've ever had.
Okay, guys. Well, the 4 of us, I would like you to please raise your cans and bottles and water bottles. I would like to raise our glasses to our fallen comrades. Main characters aren't supposed to die, but our DM is a dick.
Hey, wait a minute.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm not cheersing to that.
I didn't even plan that, Joey. It just came out. I'm sorry.
Our DM's just an asshat.
I maybe overtuned the combat a little bit. It's just a miracle not more people died. Tana, you have the lowest life and you lived.
I know! And you know what? I'm actually looking at my life right now. I have 27 out of 33 points.
Really?
I know!
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wait, so you're saying it wasn't difficult enough?
Okay. I think it was because Dergus was a kick-ass medic.
Right.
That is
right.
true. He was such a good medic. We love Dergus.
Chapter 27, Shadow of Doubt. Tana, Finian, and Heen. You stand in the Great Wings camp alone. Moments ago, the earth opened up and swallowed everyone else, from the dead goblins to the living ones, to Mo and JR. You watched them convulse and die, and then the ground closed back up. Everything is now quiet. Even the din of the swamp has ceased. What do you do?
Where have they gone? They've just been swallowed up in the swamp.
Fitting, you have to get them out. You have to get them out.
I don't know what to do. Let me see if I can find them somehow.
And I'll shove you out of the way, and instantly a couple shovels are going to come to hand. I'll throw them at each you. Dig now!
Okay.
I cast Detect Magic. See if I can locate any of the items that were on their bodies.
I'm digging. As hard and as fast as I can.
You sense no magic. You, I believe, are running towards Mo.
Yeah, exactly. I stopped dead in my tracks because, like, what was I going to do? Who was I running to?
No one anymore.
buried.
And even as you stand above what is apparently his grave, as Heen and Tana dig into it, you sense none of the magic from his rings.
Oh my gods, I think they're gone.
It's not fast enough. Move! And I'll throw the shovel out of the way and it'll disintegrate into sparkles before I immediately just channel my power and build a bulldozer worth of shovel and just start scooping out land entirely. Even if I cut his arm off, we got to get him out of there before he drowns or dies.
Yeah, I'm not helping much, but I'm using my hands. I'm doing what I can.
You keep digging, and it's difficult because the water from the bog is backfilling your hole, and it's a muddy mess. But
I try to use control water to try to keep it from
very good,
from filling back into the hole, but we're not successful, are we?
No.
I don't think we're going to find them. I can't detect any trace of magics on the items they were wearing. I think they're gone.
It's as if their bodies were never here.
I will collapse into the water on my knees, not even cognizant of the water that's seeping into my clothes, and just stare at the ground in silence.
Gods, where have they gone?
A few more solid seconds of me just digging and thrashing around, and once I start realizing I'm only shoveling water at this point, I'll stop. Just fall on my butt, hands over my eyes.
Finian just sort of wanders aimlessly away from where you both have fallen into the swamp.
They're gone. They're really gone.
Finian, as you're wandering around, your detect magic is still going, and it does pick up on one magical object. And rushing over it, you find the sigil of Treguth, the little amber disc.
I bend over to pick it up out of the mud.
Yeah. Last you saw this, Slart had it. He must have thrown it before he also died. You don't see evidence of him either.
Some lot of good this did us. I shove it disdainfully into my pack.
I will walk over to where Heen, I guess you're still sitting in the water, right? And I'll crouch beside you. Heen, okay. We could find a way back to Malice. We could find the dragon. We could find the dragon, right? Because if we can find the dragon, we can find their bodies.
And I'm going to reach out and try and find their minds. Maybe they're somewhere around here.
I'm going to keep talking about all these ideas as you're doing that, thinking that you're listening to me.
They're not. They're dead.
Maybe we could go and we could find a necromancer somewhere, and all we would have to do is excavate this entire swamp.
They're dead.
No,
they're not here. Their bodies are destroyed. Their minds. There's not even an imprint left.
No, Heen. We died before, and now we're back again. If it can happen once, it can happen again. Come on. You're the smartest one in this group. You can help me. Heen!
We had our bodies remade. These aren't our original bodies. They came from a demon monster thing. We can't get new ones. It's not going to be as simple as last time, if possible at all.
I refuse to believe they're gone, and you can help me or not help me, Heen, but I will find a way to bring them back. And I guess I will just get up and start pacing in the swampy water.
I call over to Durgus. I sous-wee to Durgus.
Yeah, he runs in from the surrounding brush. He must have ran off and hid during the chaos.
Good for him.
And luckily, it seems the ritual only affected people, not animals.
Durgus, I'm glad you're okay, at least. Durgus, this was all my fault.
Oh.
I cannot believe they're gone. I know they trusted me and they thought that I was doing the right thing, but I've led them to their end. What do I do? Oh, Durgus, I don't know if I can face face my friends. I don't know if I can keep going. I don't know what to do. I think my mission has ended.
Durgus nuzzles up close to you, and with a snort, he sort of ruffles your hair with his snout. After a time, the wet noises of the bog return, and it becomes very clear that the rot is returning as well. Throughout the day, you see the blight is rapidly spreading, shrouding the abundant fauna with a foul-smelling, ashy rot, though Finian, the area around you, wherever you might be, does seem to be clear of it, presumably because of the amber disc that you carry with you. So, what are you guys up to?
Well, I've managed to cool down a little bit, and I'm found a drier patch, because even though we're been in a swamp for a very long time, it's still miserable, and might as well negate some of that. But while we're waiting for Refurum, I guess we're just going to watch the seconds tick past and try not to think too much about it.
Are you all together?
I was with the two of them, and I've expressed my feelings of dismay and frankly, feelings of guilt and blame. At some point, I've wandered off into the swamp with Durgus.
Yep. And Tana?
Heen, where are you?
I probably found a porch.
Okay.
Part of the ones that haven't rotted into the swamp.
I'm going to come up to you and plop a big bottle of goblin moonshine down. Here. This stuff is great. And I have drank a third of it, and you should now drink a third of it, and then we will finish the last third together.
I'll stare at the bottle for a couple of seconds, just complete silence, not moving.
I'll wiggle it in a alluring way. Here you go, Gith boy. Drink up.
And with purpose, I will reach my hand out and take it from you. And I'm going to down the whole thing in one solid gulp. Here we go.
Oh, come on. All right, I'll just pull another bottle out from my pocket and uncork it. Oh, this stuff is so bad. It tastes like the fuel we used to use to light bonfires with. Wait a minute, tieflings don't have fuel. We just fuck with fire.
It tastes like moss from the underside of the latrine.
It tastes the way Finian smells. I'll take another long swig.
It burns the way fire burns.
It makes my stomach feel like a bonfire, and I like that. I like that. Okay, Heaney. All hope is not lost. I had a brilliant idea. And I will pull the Book of Omniscience.
Ooh.
Of which we have only asked 2 questions.
Uh-oh.
I will pull it out of my pocket. And I'll sidle up to Heen and scooch in real close so our butts are right next to each other. And I'll open up the book. Okay, Heen. We're going to ask this Book of Omniscience what for an answer, okay? I just have to think of a question. I will just think.
Well, why, if you ask the book what question to ask?
Wait, didn't we decide that was a bad idea?
I take the book and slap it out of your hands. If we ask the question before we have the question,
Oh, right.
it might answer
Right.
the
Okay.
thing.
Okay. I've got it. It's smart too. It's smart. Okay. I'm going to reach out and grab the book and open it. Okay, Mr. Book of Omniscience. Are JRMO really, actually, absolutely dead?
For real.
For real.
An unseen wind tossles the pages before you and brings you to a page where a single word is highlighted, and it's very blurry. you're very drunk. And
I'm squinting my eyes really hard.
If the book could sigh, it would. And then the font increases so you can read the word.
What does it say?
Yes.
No, it doesn't. I'm going to hit the book with my palm a couple times to shake it like an 8-ball. No, that's the wrong answer. And what is it? Teen, read this. I can't read.
Is that tiefling for they're still here?
No.
No, it says it. Yes, says.
Oh. I'll plop the book next to me. Take another big swig.
Then I'll take the bottle from her and do the same.
Maybe I just need to ask it a different question. Or maybe I didn't ask the right question. Maybe I need to ask it a different question.
No. I think the book knows what we asked, and
but
it means they're dead.
But I don't want them to be dead.
Our desires don't change the fact that they are dead.
But if they're dead, it means it was all for nothing. All for nothing, Heed.
It's what it all is always for. It's always for nothing.
God.
It's always pointless crap.
You're right. It is always all for nothing. Hey, speaking of nothing, there's nothing left in this bottle, and I'm gonna go get some more of this bottle heat, and I will be right back. And I will stagger to my feet, clutching 2 empty bottles of disgusting goblin moonshine, and I will try to remember the direction in which I found them, and I will shuffle off, probably falling a little bit as I go.
Rather quickly after Tana leaves, she comes back, and you look up, but you realize it isn't Tana, it's someone else. It's an ASMR woman with a fire poker thrust through her neck and out of her skull.
This isn't a funny joke, Sean. Shut up. Go away.
From next to you, Sean puts a hand on your shoulder. One by one, more people walk towards you, slowly, each one bearing fatal wounds that you yourself caused. They begin whispering as they slowly approach you.
Go away. This is not the time. I'll turn and look at Sean. Get them out of here. I can't deal with them now.
Standing, I look deep into your one good eye. You need to listen to them, Heen.
What do you want? Why do you continue to torment me?
Their chanting changes now.
We died because you lived. We died because you lived.
I cut in. It is not too late, Heen. You can still give them justice. Then I unhook the dagger from my belt and hand it to him hilt first. You can still quiet your conscience.
It is too late. The only thing left to do is to finish what we started.
And you look up and they're gone.
And Tana, as you come back, it is time to kill the dragon.
I will throw my bottle of shit booze on the ground and it'll shatter. Let's kill it.
What use is a druid that can't prevent his friends from perishing against such small odds?
Dergis gives you a sad oink as he waddles around.
I've acquired all this power, but for what? Nothing. I have no use. I have no purpose being here. What's the point?
Something catches your eye. Floating in the murky bog water are 4 corpses, Finian.
What? What's that, Durgus? Those look like bodies.
And I assume you get closer to investigate, and
I do. I approach very cautiously.
They are elves. And not just any elves, but these 4 elves you know. They were the other 4 who drowned when your ship capsized. You and Raphiram being the 5th and 6th members of the expedition. All 4 of them watch you silently and without expression, their eyes following your movement.
I'm in total shock. Why are you here? You drowned at sea. Why are you here in this swamp?
There is no answer.
Why are you watching me? Why are you looking at me?
After staring at them for a long moment, you notice there are 2 other bodies floating with them. Mo and JR. Their eyes follow you as well, though Mo wears an expression of pain, while JR wears one of sorrow.
My friends, you're here?
And
I rush toward their bodies.
With the first step towards them, the earth opens up and swallows them.
All 6?
No, only Mo and JR. The other 4 remain watching you. They wear an expression now. You failed. You failed all of them.
Like derision?
Derision, yeah.
I fall to my knees in the swamp. This can't be real. This can't be happening. And I break into tears.
One of them, you remember her, Myra. Her corpse emerges from the swamp. And it stands there, dripping water for a moment, before she lunges at you. But after a brief moment of panic, you find yourself not attacked, but embraced. You hear her weeping quietly.
Myra?
You're alive. I just couldn't believe it, she says.
You're alive.
And
I thought this whole time all of you had died other than Raphiram.
She pulls back to get a closer look at you, and you can get a closer look at her. She looks how you remember her. Her long black hair is pulled away from her bone antlers, and her bright green eyes are surrounded by dark lids. She looks how you remember, but a lot more tired. And about 30 paces behind Myra is a procession of nearly 100 goblins. Their leader is grizzled and old and wears intimidating metal claws. Standing tall above them is Raphiram, who smiles warmly at you. He did it. He managed to convince the warriors of the Sharp Claws to join the fight. And your attention goes back to Myra, who's looking you up and down. No, when the ship capsized, Thea and I looked for you and Raphiram and Toriel, everyone, but we never found you. We assumed you were all dead. So we came here to finish the mission, and then Raphiram showed up. He said you were alive, but it's so nice to see you again.
It's wonderful to see you too. You said Thea is alive as well?
She was. My sister joined me to the swamp, but the black dragon killed her a few weeks ago.
Avru.
I didn't have a name for it, but Avru, yes.
Yes, that is our mission, ultimately, to destroy this dragon and rid the swamp of this blight.
The goblin leader approaches, his small army at his back. I'm Chieftain Griffin of the Sharp Claws. I'm very happy for your reunion and all, but we don't have a lot of time. Take me to Silkwing.
You want me to take you to Silkwing?
You know where she is, don't you?
I've just come from a massacre.
A massacre?
So many goblins destroyed, and 2 of our fierce friends and warriors destroyed as well. All my fault. I brought them here.
He doesn't let you finish. He runs now towards the Great Wings tribe, his army following him. Raphiram doesn't follow. He stops and he kneels beside you.
Yeah, I pull out of the way because they're just like...
They're going for it, yeah. Finian, what happened?
We found we found a man who was part of the group that I traveled with when I was first here in the swamp. He's become corrupted and evil. He was somehow controlling the goblins, and many of them had already been, from as far as I could tell, destroyed, but reanimated and spewing black ichor on the bodies of their comrades. He was very powerful. Two of my friends, and the ones you know as JR and Mo, were destroyed and swallowed into the swamp, as well as the rest of the goblins. And this man, Walker, he's gone. He escaped.
Mo and JR are dead.
Yes.
Finian, I'm so sorry. This is not the news I had hoped for, and I am sorry still that I have worse news for you.
I don't know if I can handle more bad news. I feel like I've failed in my mission. I feel like I've let my friends down. I've brought nothing but pain and death.
He interrupts you and he stands, and he and Myra both extend hands to help you up. Let's get back to camp and discuss this further. Tana and Teen, from wherever you are in the tribe, you hear a lot of twig snapping and a lot of movement, and suddenly a small army of goblins rushes into town, followed shortly behind by 3 elves, one of them being Finian and another Raphiram.
And 1 pig.
And a single pig following behind that.
I'm already on my feet from the vibrations in the ground, and I look back at them, ready for a fight. I'm sure something's about to happen.
Yeah, I'm right next to you.
Their leader rushes up to you, not threateningly, but he runs up to you and stops about 10 paces away. The name's Chieftain Griffin. We come with unfortunate news, and he looks around. What the fuck happened here?
Don't worry about it. What news do you have? We're getting a little tired of unfortunate news.
The dragon is on its way. Our scouts have reported that he was moving. He'll be here by tomorrow morning.
I'll look to Heen with a grin on my face.
I wickedly smile back at her, too. This is excellent news.
The goblin takes a step back. And
Yeah, he'll just see the two of us, like, grinning maniacally.
Excellent news.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'll take one more swig from the bottle I've been nursing. We're gonna kill this dragon. We're gonna rip it apart limb from limb.
His smile now matches yours.
Oh.
And there's some rallying cries from the goblins behind him, these warriors raising their weapons.
Would you like to kill a dragon with us?
Let's fuck him up!
Yeah, I'll hold my liquor bottle to the sky to dragon blood.
And to glorious vengeance.
These cheers are echoed amongst the goblins.
Enthused by all the cheering and bloodlust going on around me, I'll look back down at the commander of the little goblin troop. We have a plan. Take your men, that half, over there. Tana will fill you in on the details, and I will take the others.
A very wise monk came up with this plan, and we're going to see it to fruition.
The chieftain turns back to his army and commands them to follow, and very quickly you have some goblin underlings working with you. Leaving Finian, you with your 2 elf friends. Well, Finian, what's the plan?
You're asking me this?
You're right, I should be asking Heen. Heen! Raphiram calls out to you.
Shut up, Raphiram. Stay out of the way.
I just have one question, real quick.
I'm just going to ignore him. We got stuff to do. We got work to do.
Heen, real quick, I promise. Speaking of promises, actually, I am oath-bound to speak with Avru, and given the context of what has happened here, please.
I'll stop in my tracks, and all the goblins shuffle and stumble into each other. I'm sure they've been following hot on my heels. And I'll turn and look at them.
Release me from the oath. When Avru lands, we must take action.
There are no oaths when action is demanded. it is time to act.
He nods and turns back to Finian. That's a yes, right?
That's as much of a yes as you're going to get from Heen in a situation like this.
Thank you, Heen. And he'll run back to you, Finian. Wow, this is not the state of affairs I was thinking we would return to. I'm sorry, Finian.
At the very least, we were at least successful in recovering the sigil of Tregeth.
You did. Did you look it over? Do you know what it does?
Everywhere I go, it seems to emanate a power that keeps this blight at bay. Beyond that, I don't know what else it's capable of.
That's good. We'll use that.
I take it out of my pack and I show it to him and Myra.
Yeah. They'll take it and look it over, and they'll roll an arcana. They'll roll a collective arcana check on it to tell you what it does. Finian, this emits a 60-foot aura of two things. One, resistance to necrotic and acid damage. And two, when someone within the aura drops to 0 HP, someone else can use their reaction to transfer 8d6 HP from themselves to that person. Would have been very helpful in the last fight. I know this is weird timing, but seeing that you just lost two of your close friends, perhaps you would like to partake in the ritual of passing to ease your mind.
That is a very welcome idea. You sure it won't disrupt any of the planning that's happening here?
We can make it quick. And if we are to fight Avru, we should all be on a best foot, don't you think?
Absolutely.
And perhaps selfishly, I never had the chance to mourn my sister. So we'll mourn together.
I begin the chant, and I would assume that Raphiram and Myra join in the chant with me. We go find a place, kind of clearing in the swamp.
Yeah, out a bit away from where everything is going on. And Myra pulls a handful of mushrooms from her pack and distributes them, one to you and one to Raphiram. And you all get high. You feel very quickly a sort of dulling sensation. And the grief becomes very real, becomes tangible, something you can touch, something you can manipulate.
Yeah, I continue in the chant in this translate state.
And soon your two friends, Myra and Raphiram, are gone. It's just you in the swamp. And you realize that you're standing now. You're not sure when that happened. But you look around and find your body slumped up against a tree where you left it. A silver cord connecting your stomach to your body. And you see Myra and Raphiram laying in the same way, though you don't see their souls. This is your experience. However, you do see another soul. It's Silkwing, the goblin. She's wandering around camp, scratching her ass.
Really?
Just taking it all in, looking at... She's waving her hands in front of the other goblins and making obscene gestures at them.
I laugh. You're chuckling in my drugged out state.
As you chuckle, Silkwing swivels around quickly to see you. She's clearly startled. She wasn't expecting to hear anyone. You scared me. She narrows her eyes at you. What are you doing here? You're not dead.
No, I'm not dead. I've been dead before. And my soul wandered in Noctara, but no, I'm corporeal now. But I've partaken in a ritual. And my soul apparently has entered the realm of the living.
She walks towards you, just walking through the goblins as if they weren't there, phasing through them. And when she's close enough, she notes the silver cord connecting you to your body, and you, of course, don't see one for her. you remember seeing her body strung up. I never formally introduced myself. Truly, I thought the lot of you would die before returning to my tribe. But here you are. My name is Chieftain Silkwing of the Great Wings, though I'm not really the chieftain of anyone anymore. Oh, what a way to die. Still so much I had hoped to do. Your name was Finian, is that right?
Finian Amorless, yes.
What are you still doing here? Everyone's dead. Go home.
I look at her with a quizzical expression on my face. We're still trying to complete this mission that we set out.
Are you fucking nuts?
Well, I've begun to question our decisions here. 2 of our comrades have fallen just yesterday. And now this group intends to take on Avru to destroy this dragon and try to restore the swamp to its natural balance.
Restore balance. Oh, in 8 short months, Avru tore the tribes apart. If there's such a thing as destiny, I thought it was mine to restore balance. But I guess that responsibility falls on you now, Finian. If you are to beat Avru in his own lands, you have to claim the secret of these swamps for your own. Are you interested?
I ponder for a moment, thinking about whether this is the right course of action given my recent failure. Yes, I would take up that challenge. But I don't have much confidence in my abilities.
Yeah, neither do I. But we have to try something, don't we? Sit. It'll be easier if I just show you.
Very well. I sit.
She sits on another stump nearby. Do you know what essence is, Finian?
No, I'm not familiar with the concept.
It is the stuff that the god Espis shapes our souls from. In these bogs, it's everywhere. The shit surrounds us, it penetrates us. The first step is to sense its presence. You said you've lost friends recently, is that right?
Yes, yesterday, in fact.
Though they have moved on, I want you to think of them. The lingering love you feel is much like the sensation of essence itself. For me, I lost my 3 children to Avru. Bonky, Rusty, and Lady Gugu. To think of them is to think of essence.
Wait, Rusty?
Rusty?
That's right.
Oh.
Same Rusty?
Rusty mentioned he had 2 sisters who died to a dragon in the swamps.
Rusty!
I knew this Rusty. I knew your son.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, he traveled with us briefly.
My son died almost a year ago.
Yes, it was his soul that traveled with us in Noctara.
Why, you knew Rusty in Noctara. How was he doing?
He was doing fine. He seemed to be a little lost on the other side of the world. But
Well, yes, that sounds right.
last we saw him, he was setting out to look for his sisters.
Somehow, she manages to, she wipes tears from her eyes. You're not quite sure how her soul is weeping, but she found a way. Thank you, Finian. That was unexpectedly good news. I'm glad he's safe on the other side, and I hope he finds my daughters.
I have no doubt he will. He seemed very persistent.
He is a tenacious little bastard. Well, thank you, but we don't have time to mourn right now. We just have to get your training completed if there's any hope of beating the dragon, so please.
My training?
Well, yes, just think about who you've lost. Try to feel essence. And I need you to make a DC 15 perception check.
I'm trying to think so hard about them that it looks like my head's about to explode. I'm trying too hard, and the wrong thoughts are filling my head, and I'm not feeling love. I'm feeling just confusion. And I rolled a natural 1.
Okay. After a solid few minutes of you concentrating, you open your eyes to find Silkwing, just staring at you. And she sighs. She sees the failure in your eyes. Oh, this will take a lot longer than I had hoped for. Tana and Heen, what are you up to?
Sorry, just to clarify. So would you say that Finian is doing like a training montage?
I guess so, yeah.
Da-da-da!
All right.
What?
He's not doing great so far, so.
Okay, sorry. In all seriousness, you want to know what we're doing. The problem, Joseph, is that you killed our friend before we could come up with the actual details of the plan for trapping this dragon. So...
His plan? Died with him in the swamp?
Yeah. So,
You're asking about the guy whose plan was fire in the mow and then died?
No, don't you disrespect our dead friend like
Okay.
that. He had a brilliant, wise monk plan
Of course.
to trap a dragon with a trap that we would lay a trap for.
Yes.
And then it would be trapped.
Yeah, it's obviously called Operation Big Mistake.
So why
He
don't
would
you
approve
tell
if
us?
he were still alive.
He would.
It's a trap.
Exactly. So why don't you tell us what we're doing?
I have no idea.
Well, then the answer to your question is we're figuring it out and we'll let you know by the time the dragon comes. Probably.
Great.
I have inspiration. I'm going to use it on my next attempt on this training.
Perfect. Go ahead and make a reroll.
So I have a 24.
Okay. After some coaxing from Silkwing, it doesn't take long for you to feel that sense of companionship, both inside and outside, in the very air. And you open your eyes and you can now perceive faint wisps of white energy drifting about. Silkwing smiles at you. She's showing her jagged teeth.
Ugh.
There may be hope for us yet. You see that, right?
Yes, I do. Are those the...
That is essence. During the Age of Rebellion, when the demigod of malice still claimed these lands, they were known as Death's Door, both because entering meant certain death, and because of how close we are to Noctara. To the west, the path of transition is just beyond the sea, and its magic seeps into the land. As an elf, it should be second nature for you to understand this relationship.
Yes.
I need you to make a DC 17 nature check. But before you roll, it turns out she's right. It comes very easily to you, because you don't even have to roll. Ricky, our resident god of chaos, has given you an 18 on your next nature check.
I love chaos.
Is that high enough to succeed on DC 17?
I believe it is, Joey.
Well, I mean, with your modifier.
Oh, it definitely
Great.
is.
You feel that power that she's referring to. It's infused into the land, but you feel something else in those connections. People, souls, and many of them. And you can begin faintly to see many goblins standing around watching you. You feel my ancestors, don't you?
I feel them. I see them.
Many goblins remain here, even after death. With enough will and knowledge, they're able to resist passing through Legal and into the other side. They are our secret weapon against Avru. But while they hold great power, it's difficult for them to affect Vitara without a living shaman to guide them. I was going to play that part, but now that is your part to play.
You saddled me with a heavy burden.
Well, you asked.
I did.
So don't put this on me. If you die, it's not my fault, and I assure you this will be difficult.
I don't worry so much about my death, but that of my friends. I don't want to keep carrying additional responsibility for their lives.
Then the one death you should be worried about is Avru's. If we can kill him, your friends will live.
Absolutely. I hope that you are correct and there is not some greater evil upon this land.
No, I can't imagine there is. And she stands and somehow manages to dramatically crack her knuckles, even though she's only a spirit. Well, Finian, pick a demigod and pray. This is where the real training begins. And while Finian remains in his trance, Tana and Heen, you continue working with the goblins to prepare the area. With a lot of luck, what was recently a death trap for Mo and JR might just ensnare the dragon. Come morning, either Avru will be dead or the rest of you will be. And as morning arrives, so too does he. And that is where we'll continue next week.
Oh, thank God I needed to sober up.
Before then, I need you to sober up. I also need the three of you to level up to 9. You'll need it. Also take inspiration, the three of you. That was some...
Hey, I got my inspiration back.
Hey! And for the rest of you, thank you for listening to our podcast. A special thanks to our greater deities, Ricky, Zach, and Linda. Our deities, Malpomene, Pete M, and Alli Cat. Our celestials, Ironjaw, Big Boy Vic, and David Green. Our hero, Chris Matowski, and all of our adventurers. If you want to affect the story like they do, come join us on Patreon. That's all I have for today. See you guys next week.
We're going to need your help for the next fight.
We need you so much.
Please
Come.
go roll.
Roll high, please.
We quiver in your presence.